Never, Rarely, Sometimes, Always is a drama film that I wanted to check out. I saw the trailer for this film a while ago, but it didn't really interest me. However, it made it into the top films of Chris Stuckman, so I wanted to check it out simply for that. This is an indie drama film about Autumn. She is a 17-year-old average American girl living in Pennsylvania. And the first few minutes of the movie kind of show how small town it is. She's performing at a talent show and someone heckles her on stage and calls her a slut. Parents aren't very supportive. However, she finds out that she's pregnant, and in the state of Pennsylvania you can't get an abortion without parental consent. And the film sort of paints this bleak portrait for her that she doesn't have a really great support system except for her cousin Skylar, who is her cousin and co-worker. So Skylar decides to help her go to New York City, where they can go to a facility, I guess, or a place in order to get not illegal, but like an abortion without letting her parents know. So they have some money, they plan on taking a bus to New York and to just do it in one day. However, there's some hitch in their plans, and the complications make them stay in New York over and over. So this movie is really, I want to say, bleak. I mean, in the sense that it's like the Florida Project. It's where, you know, the characters can't seem to catch a break, and I guess that's the point. You know, Autumn is basically, you know, just an every girl, and, you know, if it weren't for her cousin helping her out, she'd be in a lot of trouble. And any movie that has a character needing to get an abortion usually has that one really strong character to help them get through it. In this case, it's Skylar. This movie is really well acted. The main two actresses, this is their debuts, I believe. The one girl's been in a play. But they're really good. The acting is fantastic in this movie. It's very understated. There's no cheesy dialogue. There's a lot of quiet stretches. The direction's really quiet and kind of like intrusive in the way that you follow characters into bathrooms and things like that in their quiet moments. But it almost feels like a documentary at times. And it's really bleak in the sense that stuff just keeps happening to them over and over. And it almost feels like, I want to say, tragedy or porn, not really, but you know what I mean. It's like in a sense that where just so many bad things can happen to these characters just over and over, and it almost feels a little manipulative and forced. It's not trying to, but like, what are the chances of you going to New York City and having so many things happen? And there's some really tender moments of solidarity as well. I mean, there's only like one or two characters in this film that treat Sydney with not Sydney. That's the real actress's name, Autumn. There's only like two characters in the entire movie that treat her with like with dignity, I guess. There's the lady at the facility and her cousin. And, you know, realistically speaking, if she was from Philadelphia, she wouldn't even have probably the money or the as a 17-year-old, she wouldn't have the money or the support system to actually go to New York and do this anyway. But the movie paints a really interesting portrait. It's a very intimate, raw look at the world from the view of a young girl just trying to get by, and it's really well done. I mean, it's a movie that will move you. There's a lot of quiet moments in there, a little bit of weird pacing issues here and there, but overall it's really well acted, and definitely moved me for sure. I just felt like it was a little bit too on the downer side. It's not a movie I want to watch again, to be honest, but it's very similar to other films I've seen before. However, it's really well done. It's a really nice project written and directed by Eliza Hittman. So I give Never, Rarely, Sometimes, Always a 7.5 out of 10.